Hey guys, I'm Dylan, we're Gamenetics, and today we're going to be going over how to customize the buttons on your PS5 controller. This will include a full teardown and we'll reassemble just so you guys don't miss any components. I don't want to waste your time. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so let's go over what we're going to need today. Obviously, we're going to need a PS5 controller, which we have here. We're also going to need a Phillips head screwdriver. This one here kind of reminds me of something that you might use to fix the frames on your glasses. It's that small. I believe this one here is 1.5 by 30 mm. Also, you guys, you're going to need a pry tool. You're going to need something just as thin as it can be to get behind these triggers. That's its main purpose of its job today. You are also going to need some gold buttons or any color buttons. I picked gold because I think they'll look really good with the white. It's really not many things you need to make this happen, guys. We're going to get right into this. There's a lot of components inside that we got to move around. I'm going to be as informative as possible. Without wasting your time, let's do it right now. All right, so starting here, you'll see on each side, we have two clips that you're just going to go ahead and take this and pop it in. Pop these up. And then there's also two clips here at the bottom that you can go ahead and pop up as well, just to kind of loosen and make this job a lot easier on yourself. And this is really easy right here, guys. Just go ahead and peel that back, pop it out, and we're going to remove that off to the side, get it out of the screen so you guys can see a little bit better. And then once you remove that, guys, you're going to see that there is a screw down here. And again, on the other side, there's a screw as well. We're going to go ahead and remove these screws now. In total, guys, there's only 4 screws on the outer side just to even get into the shell. It's really not much. Once we get inside, you know, there's a lot more to do, but this is pretty easy for getting inside of a controller. Let's go ahead and show you how to do this with these triggers. Go ahead, take your pry tool, just pop that up. Comes right out really easy, guys. Make sure you go from the front though, not the sides, as I've done it from the sides before, and it does kind of get stuck if you do. So make sure you go from the front, and it's super easy, pops right out. It's the way it's supposed to be. Okay, guys, once we get in there, you're gonna see in this corner right in here that there is a screw, and also there's another screw the same side, on the other side, sorry. And you're gonna go ahead and remove those 2 screws now. So let me get this one, and then we'll take out the other. And once we get these screws out, guys, this part's super easy. I'll show you 2 more little, I guess, latches that hold on. So you'll just kind of take the controller gently and just kind of peel it back a little bit. Get it started, kind of hold it open with your fingers, and then down here, you'll just pop this up and pop this up, and that'll loosen the controller enough to get it out. You'll hear it click, and then you're just gonna go ahead and kind of pull up and out, and it'll get out from underneath the trigger location. We're gonna go ahead and move that off the screen. Okay, guys, now we're gonna start right with the battery, so it's not in our way. We're gonna remove that, put that off to the side, and you'll see that we have a bunch of ribbons and we have this battery plate. So with this battery plate right here, we're gonna go ahead and start with removing this screw. Once we remove this screw, guys, you're gonna see that there is a ribbon cable attached to it. Don't pull on that, you don't wanna rip it. Any cable, any ribbon that's ripped is gonna ruin the controller, so you wanna be super gentle with that. We're just gonna go ahead and take out that ribbon, but we're gonna go ahead and leave it with the battery plate, so we do not lose it, as it is important. We don't want to forget. So now we're just going to go ahead and unattach all these ribbons. We have 4 more to go. So I'm just going to, in no specific order, pop those out. Be careful, like I said, you don't want to ruin these. They are fragile. But go ahead and start. Peel those out. And then this one up here, guys, you just want to kind of fold that into the hole that it is going through, so you can go ahead and pop this board out like so. And once you do that, you're gonna see that we are into the part of the controller where we have 4 screws now, 2 of which we're gonna take out. And I'm gonna show you now. We have a screw on this side right here. Okay, you see that? And then obviously on the opposite side of that. So with those, take those out. And remember, one thing if I could tell you guys is all of these black screws are exactly the same size. It doesn't matter if you put them in a combined pile. Oops, they're not gonna, it's not gonna change anything. Oh, I can't get this one out. Come on, there we go. And then we'll go ahead and remove this one as well. Okay. All right, so now those are out. All we have to get to the inside of this controller and get to the buttons is these 2 silver screws. So I'm gonna go ahead and just loosen these screws. I'm actually gonna keep them right in the controller because there's no reason to make an extra step for yourself. So let's go ahead and just loosen up these 2 screws. And once these are loosened, I'm gonna try and put that back in. I don't want that out. Kind of came out. A magnetic screwdriver is pretty nice. It definitely helps for these tight spaces as I have big fingers, so it's very difficult when things are so small. But here we go. And then you should be able to just feed that ribbon back down through. I'm just gonna make sure that this one on this side is loose enough so we can just pop this right out. And yep. So then you'll just be able to just pull the insides of the controller right out like so, guys. Let's go ahead. We don't need that right now. Let's remove that off to the side and let's take a look. So now we're into the good stuff here. This is the easy part. We're just gonna remove this rubber and remove this. And then we're just gonna take out the D-pad and we're gonna change that out with the button of your choice. I picked gold. Like I said, I think it's gonna look very good with the white frame. And I'm just gonna pop these out. I'm just kind of flicking them out, guys, because I don't want to have to deal with the select button in the middle, because putting those back in is sometimes a challenge if they get misconstrued or changed angles. So just do that, kind of pop them out, nothing crazy. And then obviously these gold buttons I have don't have, you know, X, circle, triangle, or square, anything like that on them. So either way, they're going to fit in any of these slots. Go ahead, put those together. And once we have these in here, we are going to go back and, one second, guys. We're going to go back. These are kind of sliding around on me. We are going to go back and put these rubber pieces on so they're all set. So we'll start here. And there'll be these 4 points inside that I'll show you in just a sec that you'll just kind of push on and they'll go right back into the controller. Let me get that up a little closer for you guys. You guys have probably already seen them, but I just want to make sure you can see 4 spots. Just give them a little shove. They'll go right back in. And then you'll know that the buttons are secure. And we're going to do the same for over here. Sometimes they give you a little bit of a challenge, but nothing crazy. So now that we put those buttons in, we put the rubber back on. Now all we have to do is we have to go ahead and we have to reassemble this controller. So let's go take our insides. And I'm going to show you guys, just go ahead and set that plate right here and feed that cable, or that ribbon, I should say, right in through the top. Should slide right through. Sometimes it's a little bit of a hassle. If it's easier for you to use a pry tool to kind of move that around and feed it through, go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead, just to make sure this is secure, we're going to go ahead and tighten in the 2 silver screws right in the middle of the controller that we left in. Let's do that now. 1 and 2. Once those are in, you know the buttons aren't going to fall out, and it kind of gives you that peace of mind that the controller is getting secure. And now we're going to go ahead and add a little bit more security, and we're going to put the 2 screws, one on this side and one on the opposite side, which once again, guys, any of the screws works. It doesn't matter. All of them are the same size and fit all the spots. The only ones that didn't was those 2 silver ones. So let's just continue putting these in here. And once these are in, the rest does get pretty easy. We just want to make sure that we're super fragile with the ribbons. As to, I don't want you guys to go ahead and break those, because that would be a real big bummer. So now take your plate and just set it in gently, feed the analogs through, and make sure that this ribbon down here, right in the bottom, you can see, you just kind of take your pry tool and just kind of pull that out. You don't want that getting stuck up under there. You're going to need it to apply it to the top. I got mine out here. It's giving me a little bit of a challenge, but we'll wiggle it around and get it to where it needs to be. There we go. That's good right there. And I'm just going to go ahead, because that one really does give everybody a challenge. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that cable down there, and let's plug that into the spot it needs to be so it doesn't go anywhere. And we're actually going to do the same for the rest as well. So go ahead and reattach all of your ribbons. I'll do that now. Once I get this one over here, we should be good on the other one as well. I'm going to maybe try this side first. Having big fingers can be such a distraction because you can't see as well. There we go. Got that one. I almost feel like this is the most challenging part, guys. Getting these ribbons back in because they're so fragile. You don't want to pull too hard. It kind of scares you and makes you a little bit fidgety on putting it back. But once they're in, everything's good. Now let's go ahead and take our battery plate and our other ribbon, and let's go ahead and assemble those. Ribbon first, guys, because if the battery plate's down, it's just too much in the way. So let's go ahead and just plug that in right there on the left side, and then take your plate, slide it up in, and then we will go ahead and secure that plate down, which is just the one screw right here in the middle. Okay. Once that's in, go ahead and just right down here where the ribbon cable goes, guys, you'll see that you can just kind of tuck it into this little spot in the plastic. Go ahead and do that. It's not the most essential thing, but it puts everything back where it should be, and I really suggest it. So once that's done, we can go ahead, grab our battery, and we're gonna plug that back in. Once that's back in, we're really at the home stretch, guys. So I go ahead, I take my thumb, I think you should do the same. Take your base, just hold that battery in, turn it around, slide it in, and it should just click. That's all it is. Clicks right in, and now we're down to the 4 screws. Let's go ahead on the top and just make sure that stays. We'll go ahead and secure the top, and then we'll show you guys how to put those triggers on. It's not too difficult, nothing compared to the inside of the controller, but go ahead and reassemble these. That's one. Also gonna do this other one. And if you guys want to get a head start, down at the bottom of the controller, on the very edges, you can start putting in those other screws as well. And that is really the gist of this. We're gonna put on the frame as well, which will help get us where we need to be. Okay, guys, right there. And my last one. And as you can see already, guys, that gold is looking pretty good. In my opinion, I really like it. I think it looks way better than the white. There we go. Now take your triggers and this is the L1. Let's go ahead, and it's a little fidgety, but just kind of feel around and you'll see that it'll find a spot and it should just click. You'll hear it click. Give it a couple taps, make sure it's okay, and then do the same on the other side. Perfect. Those are looking good. So I want to show you a little problem that I'm having, which isn't a problem at all, but I want to make sure if you guys are having this, you guys can see. This little ribbon wants to pop back out. So just kind of feed it back into that spot it's supposed to be. It's just a little plastic spot. It slides up in, the ribbon sticks there, back to normal, all good. Now, we'll just take on the last piece, slide this up under right here. Should click, click, get the sides, make sure these are nice and secure. These are nice and secure. And then you're just gonna turn it like this, and then give it just a little push right here in the middle, guys. And then there you have it. It should click, you'll hear it. It looks really good. I like the gold on this controller with the white. Let me get it a little better visual for you so you guys can really see the final product here. Looking pretty good. I really enjoy it, actually. I wouldn't even mind doing that to my own. If you guys want to tell me what you think, if you thought that was really informative, let us know. I like doing this. This was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If the step-by-step process you could really follow, let us know. Share some comments down below. If you have any good ideas for us to do any other videos that are customized, maybe fixing things, also tell us about that, because we want to continue doing more and more of these videos in the future for you guys. I'm Dylan. We're Gamenetics. I'm glad you stopped by. Come again.